time.
Welcome back to One Leg at a Time, the podcast about health, wellness, fun, recovery, and music. I'm Dr. Dean Anbar, and I'm interviewing other musicians and creatives about their process, their priorities, and the things that they do to achieve their goals. And today we have the one and only Kyle Lalone, my buddy. Man. So you're saying this is not your first rodeo.
This is my second rodeo.
This is your second rodeo.
Yeah.
Circumstances were very different.
Vastly different.
Tell me about it.
So the first time, I think it was in North Hollywood. It was another musician that I had been doing some gigs with out here. And sort of one of, I don't know if it was like a selling point, but an aspect he put forward is like, we'll just, drink some beers and, I
mean, that is an angle. There's a lot of like bro podcasts where it's just like, fuck it, dude. We'll just hang. We'll just like drink some beers and we'll just like talk some shit. It'll be sick.
Yeah.
It'll be so funny, dude. We're so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Absolutely. And I'm sure it was probably anything but that. I'm
sure it was fun.
Yeah. I mean, it was, we hung and we drank beers and smoked bowls.
Yeah.
And
this is not funny, by the way. It's actually kind of the worst of both worlds. It's not funny and it's not good. So
that's I only want to be involved with those kind of things.
Good. Perfect. Yeah. We're very serious about how bad it can be. No, that does sound hilarious. Wait, 8 years ago is so crazy because when I do the math, it sometimes just blows my mind. I've been in LA for like 10 years.
Same. Yeah. I hit 10 years this year, like a few months ago.
You beat me out here?
I think by like a handful of months.
I guess, yeah, you did.
When did you come out?
It was August of 2015.
Yeah, I moved to Long Beach first in November of 2014, and then came up to LA like a couple months later.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
because we were in each other's orbits when we lived in New York.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's we met teaching at that school, right? Yeah, that was super fun.
Yeah.
And then I would just kind of see you, but I never really got to know you. That's my memory, right?
Until we came out here. I remember seeing you. We had like staff meetings.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, I could tell like you and me were maybe more on the same page than
probably
some of the other.
Yeah. Well, it was just like any sort of like. I don't want to start shit talking a successful institution. There was a kind of like proto-corporate vibe to the sort of attitude that they wanted you to adopt. And
sure,
it's tough as I think like musicians, that's sort of the last thing that we want is to feel like we have to like be brainwashed into reciting a script and like, there was kind of like a little 1984-ish, like, we are happy. Like happiness is us.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I totally relate.
And I don't know. It was a good experience. Look, they were the first people that gave me employment when I was like fresh out of school, and I needed it.
Same.
So you know,
absolutely.
Yeah, and they treated the whole thing really. I don't know. It was self-important, I guess.
These are all like, you're very much like,
I've been taking my brain pills.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
I've been taking this, actually, this is like totally random, but I have noticed it. It's, I've been taking lion's mane mushroom. I've been taking like L-theanine. I don't know, a bunch of stuff that I saw was like, this is good for you. Cause I get worried sometimes about my brain.
So lion's mane mushroom has something in it that like
they say it's just like good for your brain.
Okay.
It's like brain food, yeah. And it's funny because like sometimes I'll notice myself being like, oh, I'm thinking clearer than I maybe would under the circumstances if I wasn't taking this stuff regularly.
I started taking a like men's one a day.
Oh,
one of those recently.
That's good.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I don't know. I mean,
I'm pretty particular with that kind of stuff. I mean, placebo is a huge, but that's the thing about placebo is it is also like, it is effective. It's probably the most effective treatment is placebo, which is also kind of like nuts.
Like mind over
anything.
Yeah.
Well, we should back up because we do share a few key things other than just the fact that we both lived in New York. Mm-hmm. And you're a guitar player.
Yeah.
You're also a singer-songwriter, and you're like actively pursuing that, which is really, really sick. I've
Thanks,
never
man.
really had the courage to follow through in the way that I see you doing it, and like I think it's awesome.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, how have you found it? We'll table my other thought because
Okay, yeah. Circle back.
Yeah, we'll do a circle
I love
back.
that.
Yeah.
That's like those kind of like corporate
That's
jargon.
Dude, it's a
phrases.
circle back. Yeah.
It's been really fulfilling and almost like to use the word again, full circle kind of thing, because that's
two words.
That's really it is 2 words, not one. That's really like how I started. Like back when I first started doing music, I was singing and leading a band, and when I went to music school, I like had kind of like 2 focuses, and one was trying to like learn as much about guitar and become like a.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Berkeley.
Okay, cool.
So there was that part of it, but then I was also very much, trying to write songs and be like a singer-songwriter.
When I went to music school, that was essentially the end of my like initial, that same thing of like, I wanted to be singer-songwriter rock band guy. Mm-hmm. That was how I mean, for a guitar player, like what other route is there,
So I didn't know that.
I don't think it should be surprising in that sense, but then like and even when I lived in New York, like towards the end of living in New York, I was doing my own band because I kind of had like this thing of like I'm gonna make it happen, like I really want to do it, and I was inspired and I started writing and I recorded a record where I was singing and playing most of the instruments. But again, it was just like, dude, the amount of legwork to try to like push my own original project, it's unfamiliar. It's very vulnerable. I'm not as good at singing, and I haven't put the hours into singing. So, and for me, the thing that was hardest about it wasn't even like, oh, good or bad. It was like, as guitar players, I feel like with the 10,000 hours that I've put into that, what that's really earned me is the ability to feel like I could do what I need to do under pretty much any circumstances. Like amp is broken, sound is weird, songs are unfamiliar, band is like whatever the weirdness is, like I've seen it, I've dealt with it, it's in the past, I can handle it.
I definitely agree.
With singing,
that feeling.
It was singing, it's just like, I don't know, it was way harder.
I'm right there with you with that as well. I think that's part of why I sort of like put it aside for a while. Yeah. Because I felt more comfortable playing guitar. Like there's something sort of safe about you have the guitar.
It is.
You can sort of like handle things being thrown at you that are maybe not as ideal.
Yeah.
And
I think it's because, I mean, maybe if I really kind of pull back the layers a little bit, like my identity as a guitar player is a lot stronger than my identity as a singer.
Yeah. I mean, I've gone through that same exact thing, and it's been kind of an interesting process of, prior to like 3 years ago, most of the gigs I was doing, I was on guitar and I was singing some backup vocals. And now, I mean, I'm gigging more than I was, and most of them I'm singing on.
That's sick.
And yeah, thanks, man. And, I've definitely noticed as time has gone on, like that I feel more comfortable doing things with my voice, and it just, it feels stronger.
Yeah.
Like when I listen to recordings of myself singing, I'm not like,
dude, I love
terrified
that one.
at first.
Yeah,
thanks,
the one you
man.
sent me, I was like, it's a good song.
Thanks, man.
And you're singing your ass off.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
It's really cool.
Another thing that I think has been important about it is like sort of figuring out like my lane with it, like being like, this is the way I'm going to try to sing, and these are kind of like the styles that I feel comfortable doing and feel like, are not only like I can pull off, but feel like authentic.
Yeah.
And not being like, I'm going to try to do, like any kind of singing, or, I imagine you can probably relate as a guitar player, that, you're like, I like all sorts of stuff, so I'm going to try to be able to play like everything.
Yeah.
I would say that, like, I was thinking about that. I was like, of all the, I know a lot of professional working guitar players who are fantastic and can play a lot of styles, but I think of you as someone that I'm like, you can play like pretty much everything, man. I mean, you don't only do like, the jazz and the, rock and all the kind of like popular styles, but I'm like, you play like Brazilian music and you do like, I'm like, you seem to be like.
Well, it's funny because like, it's not like I grew up Brazilian or anything, but like when I get bit by a bug, like I tend to go all in on something. Mm-hmm. And I guess, that is the interesting thing about being an instrumentalist is that like, the study of that thing, it's like, and also like trying to be a professional guitar player, it's sort of like whatever people ask you to do. Like I always, and I do think that a lot of this had to do with growing up in like the jam band community where it was so musically open and kind of just like whatever happens, and like seeing, seeing Fish, like you might hear like at one moment something that sounds like prog and then something that sounds like funk and then like like a cha-cha breakdown in the middle of something, and like it all sounds random when I'm saying these things one after another, but when you're there and you're experiencing it, it's like the common thread is the band and like whatever the material is that they're kind of like then dipping in and out. And I always loved that. I loved being able to like merge musical styles, and like I just thought that was really cool.
Same.
And so then like applying that to like, well, so what do we do? It's like showing up and doing a gig. It's like sometimes they want me to play nylon string Brazilian music. Sometimes it's like a rock band. I've been, sometimes it's a country thing, like whatever it is. But I also like I'm not like, there's some things that I know that I'm not great at. And as I've gotten older, I have gotten better about being like, maybe don't like, I'll play slide, for example, if somebody needs me to, but it's like, I would never pitch myself as a slide guy, So yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's interesting, but I appreciate that, man. And yeah, that is also sort of rooted in my own journey, but I get obsessed with shit.
Same.
Yeah. Yeah. So
what's the latest rabbit hole you've gone down on your Google search?
The actual latest rabbit hole I've gone into is AI music, but that's
okay. Yeah.
That's
is it getting better?
No.
AI music?
Well, so this is what's interesting about it is yes and no, and sort of both at the same time. And so much of that has to do with who's asking the AI to do what and how they're asking it to do what it does. And there's no easy answer to this. And what's so crazy about it is like what it's going to continue to be capable of or incapable of has so much more to do with like what sort of prompts it's going to get.
Okay.
It is funny because like the last time I feel like music got confronted with like a major shift like this was probably when auto-tunes started to become like standardized. And I remember the backlash against it because it was just like, well, this isn't what voices sound like. And if you can't sing, then like you shouldn't be, and I do like, there is a sort of conservative part of me that like stands by that logic. But then on the other hand, you look at what vocals sound like on recordings now, and it's like, they're pitched, they're tuned. Like, that's just what it sounds like. Is it bad to not be into it? No. But like, I also think that at the time that was happening, musicians, the world wasn't as plugged in as it is now. Yeah. So like this AI thing is happening at a time when like everyone is online and like things go viral. Like, and there's just a lot more talk about it on like, internet spaces than I think there probably was when when autotune was coming up. And so I'm thinking about it because it's just like, man, there's this thought wave that's going around now, which is like, are you in or are you out? Are we going to like just dismiss this thing because it's unfamiliar? Or are we going to embrace it? And how do you embrace it? And what does it even mean?
I guess I don't even know. I mean,
I don't know. There's no
Yeah.
easy answer to this. Let's get into some recovery. I remember when I saw you one day. This was because I didn't know that you really were somebody who was struggling with anything. Are you down? I'm not trying to
let's go
out
there.
you
Let's
on
do it.
this.
No. Let's go there, man. Yeah, absolutely.
I remember seeing you, and I don't think that you would know this, or maybe we had talked about it when I was trying to get my shit together. But I was introduced to AA when I was 18, and was in for a long time, and then was out for a long time, and then kind of now I'm sober again, but it was touch and go there for a little bit. And then I remember having seen you and been like, oh damn, this guy's going through it. And then one day it was just oh, you're sober. And
where was that?
I think it was at the jam session. I think it was at San Fernando.
Okay, yeah.
I think I remember seeing you and you were trying to
pick up or something.
You were and very loud and obnoxious. And I was like, this is not the Kyle that I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, you got to get your shit together, man.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
Honestly, it's still helpful for me to hear that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
At times, because I feel most of the people I'm around most of the time now didn't know me during that time, or only knew me for a brief amount of time.
When people say oh, dude, you're not an alcoholic. I've never seen you. Nothing about you strikes me as somebody who had a problem.
Yeah, I hate that. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
I know. It's that's worse than anything that somebody could say. Yeah. So that's crazy. What was the trajectory there? Because even in New York, I don't remember ever seeing you, or maybe you were partying or raging.
Oh yeah, I definitely was. Yeah, I absolutely was.
Okay. Well, you kept it together in that sense, and I kept it together. For all intents and purposes, so far as the public was concerned, nobody saw me out of control, so far as I can tell.
I started when I was, 14 years old, and I,
Classic.
even that same year, I remember one specific time where I was at a party with, I had started hanging out with some kids that were a few years older than me, and that summer I was going to a bunch of graduation parties.
Oh yeah.
And
where are you from again?
I'm from northern New York State.
Okay.
Watertown, New York.
Yeah.
And one night doing
a lot of raging up there,
bunch of drinking and smoking weed as well, and then just acting crazy.
Yeah.
And the next day someone being or actually he told someone else who then relayed to me that he was I've never seen anyone as fucked up as you were. And this was, at 15.
Yeah.
And, I didn't get sober for another 17 years.
Yeah.
So it was kind of but I was always involved with sports and a lot of music stuff, and I didn't get in any trouble with the law and kept my grades okay. So the illusion of manageability was there for a long time.
Did you have a kind of a Jekyll and Hyde-ism?
I think sometimes. I don't know that I was ever I wasn't a really angry drunk or anything, but I would just do reckless stuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because you sober, and even when you weren't sober, but when I would see you around, it's you were pretty contained. I just would have never thought of you as somebody like that. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean,
like they say in the book.
Yeah. I mean, generally, it would what would happen with me is I think most of the time I would just be kind of flattened, I remember that as being a thing at in New York at Rockwood or something. I'd be going there and playing a show, and other people would be having a drink or two, but I'd be trying to talk with people and slurring my speech, and they're you're drunk right now.
Yeah.
And I would still play and do fine on the gig, but it'd be I'm the person here who's fucked up.
Yeah.
And then maybe afterwards I remember another time that I was down there, and I had actually gone to see a show, and I think I was like pre-gaming before, and
Dude, pre-gaming for a Rockwood show.
Yeah, to go watch. Yeah. Or I was like drinking with some other people, and then a thing that would happen with me for a while is like I would be drunk, and then I would like smoke some really strong weed.
Yeah.
And then that would just send me like over the edge. And it's
such
like,
a horrible combination.
I can't talk, or like I'm spinning. And I remember that specific thing happened. I'm like, oh my God, I can't talk to anyone anymore. And I just dipped.
Yep.
And I tried to get on the subway, and my spins were too bad.
Yeah.
And I just like went out. There was like a park bench like next to whatever, I don't know what subway was near Rockwood.
Yeah.
And I just slept there for like,
dude,
4 or 5 hours.
heavy. You're out there on the benches. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was going to say, spins in New York City. I got really good at when I was drinking in New York at being able to throw up like so that I wouldn't fuck up my shoes or my pants.
Yeah.
Like that was a claim to fame
skill.
for me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I can puke under any circumstances and like come out clean,
Man, I
learned that.
That's impressive. The skills we acquire.
The skills we acquire. Can I tell you one of my genius ideas that reminds me of this bench New York story?
Yeah.
So I was always really into like pills and like, I drank really heavy in New York City, but like my love was always with like opiates. And I remember one time getting the bright idea that was like, I wonder if I could make my own, like own opiate, concoction out of poppies. It's a plant,
Oh, that's
so I remember
amazing.
looking up how to do it, getting poppies off of like an Etsy thing, like grinding them, boiling them, and making like batches of opium tea. And I remember doing this for like a couple weeks, and like it got so bad. And I remember this because I was being sent out by that aforementioned school that we taught for, and like taking a big, thermos full of this tea with me, and like getting out of the train and like getting hit so hard with like not dope sick, but like just sick. Like my head was throbbing and like I couldn't really walk or talk. And all I could do was call the family, be like, I can't come, and like go to a bench in Central Park and like sit there and ride it out.
Oh man,
It was really scary. So that was the end of my my
the experiment.
Yeah,
that's pretty. I mean, that sounds like
what we do, right?
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
I hadn't thought about that in a long time.
Yeah, and I know you have the same experience where like in recovery programs, it's, I don't know if it says it anywhere in the literature, but it's just sort of like a cultural thing to be like, don't spend too much time on the drunk log, try to get to the
but this isn't a meeting. We're just having fun.
But so it's, but that being said, like talking about the shit that was really ridiculous and dark and shitty is very helpful for me at times, because I'm, like 6.5 years removed from it now. And like, my wife has never seen me drink. Yeah. Most of the people I was saying that I know and work with didn't see me like that.
No, this guy was a psychopath.
Yeah. There you go. And even some of the people that did, like, didn't see the really nitty gritty, like.
Nobody really knows about how dark things were for me or looked, because I kept it all very secret. And I was really scared that if anybody caught on to how bad my issues were, they wouldn't hire me for anything. And my whole thing was centered on like, I work and I work hard and I do my best so that I can fund I loved just being high and doing my shit. And I had to put a lot of effort into getting it all. Like I had a double life,
Yep. I very much relate to that.
So it almost feels like part of me, like when I tell people like, oh yeah, I've been sober and like I had this problem, people are just like, really, you did? Some people know. So people who like know people who had problems will be able to have like clued in on some of the signs, but because I wasn't partying, especially towards the end.
Yeah.
Very withdrawn, very antisocial. It was just me and my bags, Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, you actually were I don't know if you know this or not, but you were instrumental in when I was getting my shit together, because I just didn't know that many people who were doing the thing and who were doing what we do.
Yeah.
And I remember reaching out to you because it was like the shit had hit the fan. It was like we're in the midst of COVID, which like my cover was blown. I couldn't be as busy running around town all the time as I was. So like I had nothing to like hide behind in that sense. So that sort of forced like the people who were around me to go like, you need to confront this. And I did everything I could to not have to go to rehab, but eventually I did go. But I remember going to your house and like, I wasn't, like, I don't know. It was, what do you remember from that? It wasn't they're not my clearest memories or my proudest memories.
I mean, when you reached out to me, I was surprised, because it's like that when you talk about having kept it secretive, I was like, oh wow, like that, you seem to have hit it well. And I was like, at first surprised, and then I was like, glad that you reached out and like, happy to, try to help however I could.
Yeah. You did help.
Yeah. Thanks. I'm glad.
You did.
I remember when we that we hung out and it was, you were going through it. You were, trying to get clean, and it was a weird in between point because I wanted to. I was still pretty like tied to the idea that I could manage it. Like I was still too in love with the idea of trying to do things the way that I had been doing them. So I wasn't really fully ready to like give it all up. I kind of thought I had outsmarted being an addict in a weird way, but it was like a lot of people. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But just like knowing that you were like solid and doing the thing, it was just like, then there's that. And like, it's good. It was good. So like it was helpful. I'm glad.
Yeah, for sure. Some tough times though.
I feel lucky that I, got sober about a year and a half before the shutdown, man. I mean, I know you had, had years of, you had gotten sober a long, but man, I can't imagine like getting sober only going to meetings on Zoom. Like,
ultimately, I couldn't really do it, but I don't know how much of that was just because of Zoom or like that kind of specific isolation, or if it was just because of the nature of like what had me in its grips. Let me ask you this: how does sobriety sort of affect? Do you feel like the way that you operate as a musician is any different than anybody else who's sober? Like would operate, like, because we're out there, we're in bars, we're hanging, we're with people who are like, I never really think about it, but I am sort of curious what your experience with that has been.
It was, it was tricky in the beginning because I was, days sober and going to, work in a bar for like 4 hours or whatever.
Did you take any time off from it, or you just
I just went right into it. And
trial by fire,
being like in a place, like I'm remembering a specific place. There was this this country bar down in the Long Beach area that I used to play a bunch, where it was like you're there for like ever.
Yeah,
like dude, probably 4 or 5 hours. They can be really really long. And playing with people that pretty much everyone in the band is drinking. Previously, I would have been drinking the whole gig,
of course,
and it being kind of tricky. But I would, we had this specific place, without naming it, it'd be like you play for 30 minutes, then you have a break for 30 minutes.
Yep.
5 different times. So it's like,
I know the
kind of like a nightmare for, trying to stay sober. But I'd go out to my car and I'd meditate. Call my sponsor. I would,
I remember meditating.
Water.
Yeah. Or early on gigs like that. Totally. That was like, now that I'm thinking back on it, that was probably the hardest thing, was the downtime on gigs.
I don't know if you had this experience, but there was like initially, like, I was like, God, am I going to like be able to like do this? Am I going to even enjoy playing?
Yeah.
Am I going to sound like shit?
Yeah.
Once I like played sober and was like, wow, this is shit. I haven't done this since I was like a teenager, probably.
Yeah.
And 2, I'm like, oh my God, I'm clear. I can, this whole, like delusion that I had that like I play better or I can't play unless I'm under the influence.
Yeah.
Like was such bullshit. Yeah. It was such bullshit. And like, this is cool. I'm enjoying this. So after that, it was like,
was that quick for you?
I'm cool being on stage, but now it's like, oh shit, now I have to just like hang out here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Was it quick? Because I would say it took me a couple of months to like get my mojo back, like to feel like as loose and like lucid musically as I remember being able to sort of like medicate myself into,
I feel like it was pretty quick for me. I remember like, because at that time I was just doing a lot of like country gigs where I was, every song was, a couple different guitar solos. And I remember, figuring out pretty quick. I'm like, if I'm high, this is really like, cause I'm like,
tougher.
It's fast tempos. And I'm like, I just gotta like pay attention.
You got 8 bars to do.
Yeah. It's not like when I was doing like, instrumental reggae or like groove jazz gigs where it's like, all right, you got a solo for like 5 minutes,
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, man, I feel like just like I'm actually doing my job.
Yeah, right.
Like I'm supposed to.
That makes sense. Yeah, I remember the hardest thing about it was the hangs. I remember like going to play and like I spent so much time in those bathrooms. Honestly, public bathrooms in and of themselves were a trigger. And like that was a hard thing. Was like those first couple of months was just like not just like feeling for a stash in my pocket and like looking for a place to do it. Like it sounds crazy, but like that was a hard readjustment, like mentally and emotionally. It's like not have my little secret, Yeah.
Because there's part of that that's like is fun and exciting. Like I remember, the trips to the bathroom with you're like, who's got it or whatever.
Yeah.
Who's going.
Right.
Like I would get a rush from that.
Yeah.
Maybe not equal, but like similar to the actual thing that I was doing.
No, for me it was big. I mean, I needed to be the one who had it, Yeah. It was pretty toxic. But hey, no, that's good. That's interesting.
How much time
do you
have now?
3.5 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I know. It's like it's a long time coming. Here's an interesting thing. So, and this was actually the thought that had come up earlier that I wanted to table. We're circling back.
Sure.
This is a circle back. So someone called me the other day, yesterday, and he was like, I have this friend and he's going to die. He's alienated everybody else from his life. He is addicted to drinking. Like I need to try to get him, I guess, I was like, we need to try to get him into a like hospitalized detox or else he will die if he tries to stop drinking. But this guy doesn't want to stop drinking. And the guy who called me was like, I don't know. He was like, I'm trying to convince him to get on Anabuse. Or not Anabuse, what's it called? Vivitrol.
Yeah.
And I remember being offered Vivitrol when I was in treatment. And I said no. And I told my friend, I was like, if you can convince your friend to get on the Vivitrol, like that might be a way that you can like get him towards approaching sobriety. But the thing that my friend told me about his friend was he goes, I just like drinking too much. Like I just don't want to do it because I like drinking too much. And I was like, see, now that actually is the reason why I said no to it. Because even when I was in rehab for the first and second time, I was like, if I can't figure out a way to like my life and like be happy and feel like if I don't take this fucking shot every month that I'm just going to like lose it and go relapse like the first chance I get, like I don't want to do that. Like it's not anything that doesn't appeal to me in the least bit, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, my
thinking about it.
My first thoughts about that, I'm like, this guy isn't ready.
I know, and I had that same thought. Apparently it's dire. Apparently he's like on death's door, because of like complications related.
Yeah,
to, like,
I mean, that's a really tough one. It's really unfortunate,
it is a
but
tough
it's like
one.
if he doesn't, it's like if he doesn't want to do it,
Yeah.
it's like to me, it's like
There's nothing
the
you can
dude will
do.
probably, like, even if you do that, get him a little bit better, he's going to go drink as soon as he can. And
Yeah. You have to figure something out. I mean, it's really tough. And it's not like, that's the tricky part is like, you don't have to do AA. You don't have to do anything. These things, like if you can pick and choose elements of like a sort of thing to call your recovery program, like it's just what you do to feel better on a day-to-day basis. And like part of it is like, the service component, anything to sort of get out of your head. But it was a tricky one, man. And I was like, fuck, I wish I had like a something to say to my friend to be like, this is what you should do. I was like, I don't really know if I have anything. I was like, you maybe should consider Al-Anon.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
that's what just popped into my head. It's
and it's not a cop-out. It's like, I don't know what they'll tell you at Al-Anon, but I know that they deal with stuff like this way more than I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I don't know this guy. It's not for being cold or callous. It's like, I don't know what the thing is here. And like,
well, it's just like, you can't save someone that doesn't want to be saved.
Yeah.
Even if it's that. And that's, there was maybe a time when I would have been like, well, that is, I think I probably grew up with some of that because I have, extended family members who were lifelong alcoholics.
Yeah.
And, one that, passed away last year because of it. And so I've seen that, and I remember like when I had several months sober, like reaching out to her and being like, you should do this. And she was like, no, I can't. I can't do it,
right.
And I've watched, other family members try to help them and just try and try and try to their own detriment. And it's like, you can only, it's,
I know it's tough. It's
only
scary.
do what you can do. It is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing is like, well, what I guess I can do is just like lead by example. I was like sort of, I was happy that even, I'm not saying I was happy, but like, the fact that he felt like, oh, this guy, like I know him and I, can talk to him about this kind of thing. It's like, that's cool. And like maybe
absolutely.
Something down the line will happen. I don't know, but
100%, man.
All we can do is be shining examples of like, just you don't have to do that shit anymore. Far from a perfect person, but like I don't get fucked up.
Oh my God. It's dude. It's
I have my other bullshit.
I mean, you and me both, bro. It's like that's I remember in the beginning I was like, it's only my drinking and drug use. Like everything else is gonna be like, it's gonna be cool once I stop that. I'm like, oh no, I'm probably still
What'd you get into?
Yeah.
What was it? Yeah.
Oh, I mean, nothing,
Come on.
Like whatever obsessive things, other
all right,
things you can get into.
I mean, like for me, I mean, I've talked about it. I stopped looking at porn a couple years ago, maybe like a year ago, at least like compulsively. That was a big thing where I was just like, this is as much a habit as anything else. And it's like only hurting my personal relationships. Food is a huge one.
That's probably been the main one. It's like, I definitely have like a sugar addiction.
Oh, dude. Yeah. I just can't keep it in the house. It's like, it's really rough.
Yeah. Like a whole box of cookies. It's like,
oh yeah, no, come on. I mean,
nicotine, which I see those over there and I'm like, oh fuck, bro. I think that was really, really hard to quit.
Actually, I shouldn't even have
worse.
this out. I can't believe I let this slide. It's been out the whole time. Well, now it's out here. See, my secret is out, guys.
To our sponsor.
You know what? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's better than vaping. I finally was able to stop vaping. Like,
that's good.
Beginning of 2025, I was just like, I kind of want to just be done with it. And that was a tough switch, but like these things help a lot. But yeah, I don't know, that nicotine, dude, since I was like 15, I started taking cigarettes from my dad's Marlboro Light packets.
Like I wasn't even that heavy of a smoker ever. At my most, it'd be like 10 cigarettes a day. And then I started doing like the nicotine gum, and it's like now I'm chewing like 10 pieces a day every day. And I switched those, and it'd be like a tin, every like day and a half.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to do that. Yeah, especially like traveling or whatever. I don't know. It's all bad, but it's just like whatever. It's just anything that isn't,
It's like we're not gonna be fucking monks, I'm like that's like the only.
Definitely not.
Yeah. I'm like there's probably gonna be something.
Yeah.
Something, whatever it is. My newest thing is golf.
Whoa.
That's what I'm.
How'd you get into golf?
I started playing when I was a kid. I never like took it that seriously, but I would play with like my dad and grandpa, and then probably 10 years ago when I moved out here, I would start playing with some friends, like very casually at short, easy courses.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, a couple months ago, in particular, I remember I went and played with my friend, and I was just like playing, like I played really badly, and I was like, I should start doing this more often. I want to get like better at it. And then I don't know, there was some kind of like light bulb that was like, dude, why don't I just start, like, I've been looking for, like, a hobby,
It's an
activity. That's something that's not just, I'm like, because, the thing that was my hobby passion is my job. And as much as I love it, I'm like, I got to have some break from playing guitar. Yeah. And I was like, this is, I don't know, I'm getting outside. I'm, like, exercising. And there's something about it that feels like similar to learning an instrument. It's like all about like a very specific technique and repetition of that technique.
I like doing things that are physical and tactile like that. I think that's really cool. Yeah, it's funny too because it's like the current sort of world that we live in is like the instinct is to just monetize everything that you are interested in. I'm thinking about what you're saying. I'm like, you're right. In every hobby that I've ever had, I've like pretty much tried to figure out how to like make it into something. Like even this, I was like, I like, because for me, one of my things was like running. I consider running to be a hobby, as kind of whatever that sounds like. But then like that kind of, to me, is also sort of lumped in with an element of recovery, and because it makes me feel better, and I just kind of feel like anything that makes me feel good is like I consider it recovery in some capacity. And then I'm like, I want to like talk to people about the things that they do, and then I'm like, I'm doing this, and I don't, who knows what's going to happen with it, but like, I get you. So the question is, are you going to start figuring out a way to like monetize your golf habit?
I mean, honestly, man, that has not really like come up as of yet. Like so far, it's just been like, how do I just like suck less at this and get a little better at this?
Dude, I'm terrible with golf.
That's something that can feel really
get the bad
unhealthy.
Culture,
I can. If I'm not doing like other, like like I hike. And
Hiking's
I'll go
nice.
to the gym. I don't really like going to the gym, honestly. That's more of like I'm like, I get done and I feel good, but to like, that's not like an experience that I'm like, I fucking like love being here.
I got bit by that bug and I got
that's great, man.
I like it.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm envious of people that have that. Like, I'm like, man, why can't I just like get like addicted?
It's kind of like practicing in a way. And like, but there is also just the thing of like, sometimes I just feel like a dumb idiot because I'm like, I like to push the weights and it make me feel good. And like, then when I do that really good, my brain is like clear. And it's like, I know it's good, but it's also like, it's stupid. But also like, it is like practicing where it's like, you learn a technique, you learn a form. If you stick to it and you're consistent with it, you see results. And like, I like things like that. It's like, if you do this thing and you work on the thing, like, I don't know. Do you still play guitar for fun?
Yeah, man.
You do?
I really, I still feel that like pull and compulsion. Like, I just got to go like noodle right now.
Man.
You know?
It comes in waves. Not as much. And like, there are times when I'm very inspired, but it's usually because of an idea that I have to execute something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I'm just home and I don't really have anything to do, it's not that often that I'll go over to the thing and be like, I just really want to like play right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. And that's like, part of me feels like bad for that.
It's your job,
Before summer came along and like got crazy with all of these just like, sessions and gigs and travel and stuff. Like, I was working really hard on finishing, like, writing all these songs for a record that I wanted to do. And then the concepts for that just got really bloated, and I started wanting to do this big thing, and it just didn't happen. And initially the whole thing with that was like, I want to just do like a 3 or 4 song like EP and maybe pair that with some videos to be able to like just throw out there so that I just have something.
Yeah.
And then and it just didn't happen because I was like, well, if I write like 4 songs like that, like I think I have 2 more in me, and then I write 2 more. I'm like, I have like these songs from like a year or 2 ago that could really like work well in this context, and then start revisiting those. And I'm like, I should like arrange for like flute and violin and start thinking about like doing all that. And then next thing you know, it's just like now I just don't have time. Yeah. So I will go back to those things, but I think I have to remind myself, it's like, it's okay to like think smaller and just like execute as you go. And that's just been mine. How about you? Are you working on any new music right now?
Yeah. I mean, I've got a handful of songs that I've written over like the past year. And I also have been, like, I'd like to put out another record.
Yeah.
I go in kind of like phases with writing.
Sure.
I've noticed, and it used to kind of cause me some, honestly, it can sometimes maybe cause me some distress still, but I will write like an EP or an album in like a couple months, and then kind of like struggle to finish anything for
sure,
a year and a half after that. And I feel like that's kind of, I'm in a little bit of that right now.
I think that's natural.
Yeah.
Do you know Will Brom?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Will was on, and he had this great way of thinking about like organizing. He said eras. He was like, every album that you put out is like an era, and you're sort of like demonstrating the sort of peak concept of this era of your life, that you then like, you do it, you put it out, and then you like start to move on. So it makes sense. It's like, yeah, it would be kind of insane if you were just like had a fully formed next concept that quickly after you do the first one. I think it takes time.
Absolutely. And I try to not force it as much anymore. I try to like I think right now I have like a handful of, chord progressions or riffs or, lyrics that I keep messing with, but I'm like, if it's not, I'll try to mess with it some and see if something's gonna come when I'm doing it. But I'm like, if it's not coming, I just kind of like, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, if it's not coming, it's not coming. Yeah. It's interesting because you have like, I remember the Stephen King book on writing was conceptually his whole thing is just like, if you're a writer, you write. Like, don't wait for inspiration to strike. Like, just sit down, write, and whatever happens, if you write a half a page or if you write 40 pages in a day, like, it's not for you to judge whether or not it's good quality. It's the act of sitting down and doing it, and like, what's good about it may not even be clear to you. And I do try, especially when I'm like, I'm just not feeling anything today. It's like, I'll still try. Not so much these last couple of weeks, just because I really haven't had time. But I want to, and I miss that. And it's like, I'm thinking about all these other things, and then I'm thinking about like, well, maybe I should like be starting to work on like a school or like, or like some sort of online stuff, because I see people who are doing that and they're into it.
Like teaching?
Yeah, like some kind of like a, subscription service. I have some ideas for like teaching a specific kind of like fundamental of jazz guitar that I think it's overlooked a lot. And I was like, if I'm gonna do it, it would be cool to sort of like roll this out as like a subscription type of a thing online, just because that's like so much music learning is done that way now, you know? So that's something I've been like kicking around in my head. But that, again, that's like, it's work, you know? Yeah, I don't know.
It's hard to stop working, bro. That was the thing I was going to mention before. It's like when I'm, you know, if I don't have these other things that I might go do, and at times having being like, all right, go to the gym right now, you got to go, or like go hike, or now it's like I can become like a workaholic. It can, you know, I'm like, I gotta book stuff. I gotta learn songs. I gotta write stuff. And there, of course we have to do that. But, if, my sort of like, I'll get out of balance, and then I'm, you know.
How do you keep a balance? Do you, what do you, like, how do you essentially inventory that? Like, what makes it work? I
try to like just check in with how I'm feeling, you know, like in my body, in my mind. I'm like, okay, am I feeling restless, irritable, discontent? Kind of, you know, and be like, well, what are the, you know, the routine I've gotten through recovery. I'm like, okay, have I done all those things? Okay, cool. Am I still maybe feeling kind of weird? It's like, okay, well, you should probably go exercise.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes it's like, there's the kind of like waves that we go through emotionally that like sometimes I'm like, okay, I just have to like ride it out.
Yeah.
And then there are other times when I'm like, okay, maybe I need to like, maybe there's something else that I need to address, or something I maybe need to take a step back from, such as, you know, looking at the news or checking social media or, you know, those kind of things.
Yeah.
Which that's usually, it's like, that should just be the thing, no matter what.
It's been really bad. My weekly screen recaps, those numbers have been pretty fucking high.
I turned mine off years ago.
Yeah, you turned off the recaps?
Oh yeah. I don't want to see that. I'm like, I don't want to see that.
Maybe these are words that are going to come back to bite me in the ass, but like nothing makes me feel more myself than like after doing something physical for myself. I don't know what that is, you know.
Endorphins, man.
I mean, I do know it's
a hell of a drug.
Right, yeah. That is what it is. Now, the scary thing is what's going to happen if I can't do that for whatever reason, but like, we'll cross that bridge.
Yeah. What's the longest you've been on the road for?
I think it was that tour that we did this last year. It was like 5.5 weeks. I think 6.
Yeah, that's
6 on the bus with no break.
That's working, man.
It is working, but it's like there's something about that like I've never been to prison, but I feel like there's something like, because it's like you, at least for me, I was like, if this is my reality, like I need to be able to operate and like control as much within this chaos as possible. So it forces me to like double down. And like to what you're saying, the first bus tour that I did with this band, I was about 9 months sober, maybe a little less. And like that was the one that I really, really got into like this whole trip of taking care of myself. I was also like starting to go through my divorce on that tour. Like there was a lot of chaos in the air, you know, and a lot of like instability on an emotional level that I was like, I have nobody really to be accountable to right now. And like, even then to like pull this thread a little bit, it's like, it's cool to be able to go to meetings in different places, but it's like, nobody here knows me. Nobody really is going to give a fuck if I go and drink after this meeting or not. Like, I'm the only person who has my best interest at heart right now, who's actually in my sphere. When
I first started out, I was probably doing like 4 or 5 a week.
Yeah.
And I did that pretty consistently for a while. I've never been an everyday meeting guy.
You didn't do a 90-90?
I didn't. I don't know. It wasn't. I wasn't asked to do that. It seems like it works for people, so that's cool.
Yeah, it definitely does.
I, as of late, have been doing. You know, I was doing like 3 or 4, and now I'm trying to do 3. But like last week, I only did 2. You know, even like there's this voice. It's like, you know, it's like the voice of the guy in the meeting. It's like, you're fucking.
I know, but I hate that dogmatic bullshit.
I do too. I will say, you know, when I go enough days or too many days without a meeting, I notice I'm, you know, it's not like I'm fantasizing about drinking or using, but my head is just more at my own ass.
It's little things.
I'm less grateful. I'm more irritable. I get that. You know, like my wife can even, you know, she's like, do you like need to go to a meeting? And I'm like, yeah, I probably do. So
you've been there 6 years, you said, or 5 years,
6.5.
That half is important.
Right? Yeah.
You know, it's really funny because I get this. I went to a meeting a couple of weeks ago, and I remember getting somebody called me on my way home, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm just like going home from a meeting. And like most people, when I say that, they're just like, you still do those? I'm like, yeah, I never really stopped. Like, you know, I'm not like not like the most active, but like I go, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I felt great going.
I've kind of been in a little bit of a phase the last, I don't know, maybe month or two where I'm not as like I'm kind of having to make myself go a lot of the time. I'm not like, I'm like, honestly, I'm like, I'd rather go golf, or I'd rather fucking hike, or I'd rather play my guitar.
Hey man, you're in that zone. You're in that, you know, comfort zone.
Yeah, but I'm like,
watch out.
I hear from people that are in room. I've heard it enough times, which is like a lot of times, that like the people that go out when they have time, it's generally that they stopped going to meetings. That's like the common denominator.
I've heard the same.
They're like, they stop and they don't go for a long time. So I'm like, I don't want to, you know,
you don't want to risk
I don't want to risk that, you know.
Well, I mean, you're right. And there's no single right or wrong way to do it. Obviously, it could happen. At this point, it's like, it does go back to that fundamental principle of like, it is one day at a time. You know, you don't know what's going to happen when you leave here. You might go and head off to, I don't think you will, you know, like stop off at the liquor store on the way to wherever you're going next. I know, and I don't say this out of a place of ego. I say it as a place of like, this is a fact about me at this point. Like, I'm pretty good at not doing drugs. I'm pretty good at being in environments when like these things are available and being able to recognize when it's not a situation that I should be in and going, this isn't for me, like, and leaving. You know, there's nothing about it that attracts me anymore.
You're usually the first one back to the bus after the show when people go out.
Is that true? Yeah, maybe.
I love being that guy now. Honestly, like,
but I do go out.
You do. You participate. But you
I
tend
go
to
out
be the
until I
first
start
one
to see the shit that I'm like, this is not for me anymore.
And that's what you tend to say when you come back. You're like, it was cool, but then, you know, nothing for me there right now.
And that's fine. And like, you know, but yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay.
But it's like, there is that scary reality of like, that thing could happen, you know. What do you do?
Yeah, keep do the thing, and that, you know, that's kind of where, you know, I am at or have landed lately, is that like maybe it looks a little different than it was when I first started or the first few years.
Yeah,
but I can't stop doing the thing completely, or I really am. I'm not taking precautionary measures. And I also, you know, like, a lot of people helped me out. A lot of people, you know, sat with me and, you know, took my phone calls and were really kind to me when I came. And it's like, I need to keep paying that forward, or
That's
I'm just
important.
kind of like, I'm just kind of taken, and I'm like, all right, check out my life now. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, on the other hand, like, your life should look different. It's not the one that you had when you first, you know, got sober and you're married. Like, you don't, you know, you live in Diamond Bar. Like, that sounds fancy.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
I mean, I think that's okay. Like, change is good, and figuring out how to like stay true to yourself. Keep the recovery in as much of the balance, because, you know, things are going to change.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I mean, I see the, not to like calling people out, but and I'm sure you see it too. People, it's like they go to a meeting every single day. Yeah. They're doing AA and they're still fucking crazy. There's, you know what I mean?
I never wanted to be somebody who just like lived in the rooms. Yeah. Like, and I've even heard people say things to me so much as like, oh yeah, like so-and-so, like they were doing like the kind of, they were musicians until they got sober and now they have like a real job. Like you should do. Like implying that it's just like, that's all like kiddie shit and like you get sober and you grow up. It's like, fuck that. Yeah. Like this is just, now it's just one less thing. Like now I can actually travel and not have to like have packages sent to hotels wherever I'm at because my stash ran out or whatever. Like, the depth, like it was so hard to be mobile and like really fully give myself the like ability to live this life in that way because I was always sort of tethered, Now I'm not. Like it's even more freedom in that sense.
Yeah.
Have you noticed your relationship to writing music change in your process of recovery?
Man, when I think I had only been sober like a few months and I went through this breakup that was like really difficult early, and I just kind of just because I'm like, I remember one in particular time I was like, I can't go to sleep. And I just like went out of the other room and just started like writing just lyrics. And I was like, okay, I think that's a song right there. And I hadn't even picked up my guitar yet. And that was a completely new thing. And I did that. I mean, I wrote an EP in my first year of recovery that I put out
that's great.
A handful of months later. And then the next year I wrote an album. So for me, for a while, it got way easier. Which was, I know that's not everyone's experience. I've heard of some other people that like,
it's not.
I need to take a break from it. But for me, I was just like, my thoughts are clearer, like I used to, it's like I get like an inspiration. I'm like, all right, like let's get kind of, and then it would be like, I'm lost.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like aimlessly for hours where then, and particularly that thing of like starting with lyrics, which was something, a teacher had us do in a songwriting class I took like in Berkeley, like years and years ago. That I was like, how the fuck does that work? And I was like, oh yeah shit, I like get it.
Yeah.
And it really lent itself to like country and like roots music.
That tracks. Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's song first, otherwise it's just a bunch of chords and notes.
Yep.
I know that you've got an out. I want to get you out on time. Are you down to play one of your songs?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
All right, cool. Let's make it happen.
Cool. Yeah, so I wrote this song, I think, like last year. To be completely honest, I was like, I want to write a song that generally has a similar theme to I Won't Back Down by Tom Petty.
Great song.
It's like same kind of.
I write like that a lot too now, where I'll like it's not to like try to rip something off, but to sort of like I like the thing that I'm getting from this song, and I want to try to create something that has that same thing.
Yep.
Like not aesthetically, not specifically, but just
totally
like very conceptually, and even then it's sort of abstract. But
So the song hasn't been recorded yet. Just got an acoustic demo. I've played it live a handful of times. Hope to put it on a record next year. It is called Stand Back Up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've never been the one to pack it up, to turn and run, to leave before the job is done. When the going is tough and I feel like maybe I've had enough, I won't quit when it gets rough. It doesn't matter how many hits you take, or if they knock you to the ground, as long as you can stand back up and don't let it keep you down.
matter how many times you break, or even if you fall apart, as long as you can stand back up. I'm not waiting for a prize to show up at my door, or for this world to give me more. When all the work I do and the words I sing aren't getting through, I'll keep digging for something new. Doesn't matter how many hits you take, or if they knock you to the ground, as long as you can stand back up and don't let it keep you down. No matter how many times you break, or even if you fall apart, as long as you can stand back up. It's just a matter of time till a train is heading my way. I won't worry about if it's making a stop on that day. Doesn't matter how many hits you take, or if they knock you to the ground, as long as you can stand back up and don't let it keep you down. No matter how many times you break, or even if you fall apart, as long as you can stand back up.
Just like we rehearsed it.
Beautiful song.
Thanks, man.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Man, Kyle Lalone, thanks so much for coming on the pod. I hope it wasn't too rambly. I like thinking about the last hour. I was like, I don't even know what the hell I said. But it was great. It was great to have you on. It was great to talk recovery, just catch up and learn more about you.
Yeah,
so I'm so glad that you could do it.
Me too, dude.
There's one more thing you got to do before I let you go, though.
Sure.
You got to look into that camera and say, I put my pants on one leg at a time.
I put my pants on one leg at a time.
You heard it here first, folks. Kyle Lalone, give it up. Thanks so much. We'll check it.
Put your pants on one leg.